time, a certain period, and then that's always followed. The downturn is always followed by a recovery. So how long is normally the strong season in the market? If you just look back the last 40 years, who knows? Anybody been in the business for 40 years?
Not quite 40.
And hey, in March, I'll be 30 years in this business. So I will have been licensed 30 years.
March will be 39.
All right, so look, if you've been in the market for a while, or if you are a student of the market, then you know that there are cycles. How long generally is a strong market cycle?
It used to be conventional wisdom was like a 7-year cycle.
Conventional wisdom 7, I buy that 100%.
And then,
Yes.
you know, depending on certain economic situations, it can be a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, but that's kind of a general rule of
I
thumb.
100% buy that. Yes, thank you. So the high time, 7 years. The downturn, how long? I'm just giving you some perspective today. There are 2 reasons I'm in front of you today. One is I want to shape your mindset and your thought perspective about the market and what's going on and what to expect. And secondly, I want to teach you and show you how to turn your pipeline on. So those are the 2 things we're going to go over today. So 7-year strong market cycle. How long is the downturn?
3 years.
3 years. Yes. You did one of these. Was that a guess? I was like,
They say every 10 years you do the full cycle, so that would make sense.
yes, 7
wanna
plus
do
3
10
is
from.
10. So, how long have we been in the downturn?
Forever.
How long have we been in the downturn?
About 2 years.
It's, yeah,
The downturn started specifically in the third quarter of 2022. Why? What happened in the third quarter?
Interest rates.
Interest rate is 6%.
Interest rates went up. More specifically, interest rates doubled in a month.
In 30 days.
Okay, so when interest rates double in a month, that's a big bucket of water on a raging hot market, for sure. Now, we needed for that market to cool and to calm because we really want a long-term career in this business. We want a sustainable industry. We just don't want a good 3, 5, 8-year run. 2020, everything got super crazy. And then in third quarter of 2022, we had the downturn start. So if my math is right, downturn third quarter of 2022, how long have we been in the downturn? 3 years. So what can we expect? We can expect, say again?
about to get lit.
Says the man that's about to have that closing, he's looking for the next one. I love it. Yes, so if we're a cyclical market and it's generally 7 to 8 years or so followed by a 3-year downturn, and we're right at 3 years of the downturn, it's reasonable to expect that there is recovery right around the corner. We may even be right now in the beginning of the recovery. So, if you look back over many years, and we'll do this real quick, and I've got some charts and graphs and some stats for you, and I didn't really come here to talk to you about stats, but I just cannot miss the opportunity to stand in front of you and talk with you about what's going on in the market and to help shape your mindset and perspective, because there's so many voices in your head, in your ear right now about the market, and so many of them are divisive. They're looking to put fear in the minds of the consumer and you, the practitioner, and they're looking to get mainly clicks and sell advertising, but they do it by fear mongering. And so they shape these headlines most of the time with fear. And then if you aren't really clear about what's going on and you don't know the truth about what's going on in the marketplace, then you can't effectively lead the people who look at you as the economist of choice, the expert in this industry. Help them to navigate the purchase or sale of the most expensive asset most of them have on their personal financial statement. I mean, this is big, big stuff. And so you have to know what's going on. You have to be a student of the market. You have to be very clear about it, be able to articulate it, and not be thrown around by all of the headlines that are just fear mongering. All right. So, I just dumped on you a bunch of stuff. Let's get into some of the stats, and let me help you shape the thinking on this. So this is home sales monthly. This is national, and you can see that we're basically up 1% home sales nationally this past year. This is since 1990, the number of home sales. So single family residential up to 7.1 million. Then right here is the Great Recession. So Great Recession, 4 years of bouncing around 4 million. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-year strong market. 11-year strong market. 2 years of ridiculous, crazy unicorn market kind of a thing. You look at this was a huge run where you had 1990 and then it just goes up. We had a little bit of a lull right here before then, a little bit of a lull right here, and then, but 5.2, 5.3 is super strong. This was another unicorn. Okay, so we now are at the 3-year mark in this downturn, and we can expect to hit this recovery. Now, look, is it going to go, from 4 million to 6 million transactions overnight? I hope not. Thank you for saying that.
Please no.
I hope not, because we want a sustainable marketplace. Yes, if it does that, something crazy and something unsustainable has happened in our
Well,
marketplace.
look at.
It's artificially
okay, so you
inflated.
go from, 02 to 06, which is, that was caused by bad business, frankly.
Yes,
Yeah,
And the result is,
a correction,
yeah.
so
a correction.
you don't want to see that again.
We don't want to see that. We want to see a normal 10-year full cycle. Thank you. 7 years of boom, 3 years of downturn, 7 years, 3 years, 7 years, 3 years. If you've been in the business for 39 years, you see that a few times. You've been in the business 30 years, you see that a few times. And so you withstand those things. You understand that that a downturn is always followed by a recovery. So anticipate that. Don't put your head in the sand and not prepare and expect and to do what you need to do to take advantage of what's going on in the downturn, because in the downturn, there's tons of opportunity. And then in the recovery, there are tons of opportunity. All right, so that is, this is home sales annually. Again, just presented a little differently, and you can see some of those wild sweeps that happen. And again, with this 10-year, sometimes a 12 or 13-year full cycle. This is month supply of inventory. You can see month supply of inventory is up a little bit. That's good. When MSI is up 15%, but still 4.6 nationally, it's 4 locally. 4 months supply of inventory is still tight. That's still tight. 4.6 nationally, that's still tight. There's a conversation, we've always had this conversation of what is a balanced market?
6 months.
6 months supply of inventory. I might start challenging that at this point, because when was the last time we saw 6 months supply of inventory?
2008.
2008. So in the Great Recession, we had double-digit supply of inventory. And it was a tremendous buyer's market, yes, and that drove pricing down. And so we've not seen that type of inventory since the recovery of the Great Recession. And so I'm telling you that probably 4.5, 5 months maybe is balanced again. Look for 6, I don't know, whatever, but I do know this, that 4.5 months supply of inventory is far better than 4.5 hours supply of inventory, which is what we had in 2020 and 21 through the middle of 2022. Again, not sustainable. You're hearing a lot about inventory being up, but let's put it into perspective. This is just, again, like stats out of context are dangerous. So when someone throws you a provocative statistic, it is your responsibility to question what is the impact of that stat in the context of that stat, instead of inventory is 20% higher than last year. Okay, but look at where it is relative to 2019, which was the last strong, robust market that we had. You can see it's not as high as 2019. Now, there were more sales in 2019 than there are in 2025, but you put those stats in context. There's one right now about price reductions. Okay, well, this many percentage of homes are having price reductions. All right, well, in a marketplace that has almost zero inventory and no days on market, and buyers are having to go over asking price to control a property, you're not gonna have price reductions. So if you put the number of price reductions in context of that marketplace, it's going to seem tragic. But when you put it in the context of a normal market, it's just normal. We're like back to normal. In most every stat that we track, we're back to normal. None of the stats that we're tracking are scary or like falling off the cliff. Here's another one. I love this one. I don't have a slide for it, but this is just awesome. Foreclosures have tripled in the last 12 months.
1 to 3.
Yeah.
When you put that into context, then now look, there are going to be foreclosures in every market. There are going to be short sales in every market. You can totally get a niche and drive into a very narrow and extremely focused niche and make a lot of money. But what you're not going to do is see this wide sweeping foreclosure distressed marketplace where everybody needs to go buy the box of crap that people sell. Like, I'm a short sale expert and I'm a foreclosure expert and I'm going to make that part of my offer. No, you're either going to, in this marketplace, be a specialist in that area, or you're going to know that that area is just not a place where you need to lean into. So you got to put them into context. Home prices, you can see home prices basically are stable prices nationally, 2%, 1.5%. The trend line that we track, and you see Gary Keller tracking all the time, is 3% trend line. So 3% annual appreciation is nice, sustainable, stable. In the 2020s, early 2020s, we had 15-20% appreciation. That's not sustainable. That is what caused the affordability crisis that we have been managing over the last couple of few years. And so when you have 2%, 2.75% long-term interest rates and 20% appreciation, at some point, that interest rate is going to normalize back to that 6 or 7%, and it's going to make that property less affordable. And so that's what we experience. I love 2%, 1% appreciation in this market right now. I think that that's where we need to be so that the market basically stays pretty stable and allows the rest of the economy to catch up. That'd be wonderful. We talked interest rates just a few minutes ago. We'll talk about it in just a minute, but I do not want to see 4.9% interest rates. I just don't. Look, as a buyer, I would love to go buy a whole bunch of more stuff with like cheap, almost free money. That'd be great. But it's terrible for our industry. It's terrible for the business that I earn my living in. It's terrible for the business you earn your living in.
It's terrible for the economy.
It's terrible for the economy. It's a fun moment at a price. That fun little short season carries a weighty price for the economy and for the marketplace. And so we don't need that. We need good, solid, sustainable 6% interest rates, 5.75, something with a 5 on it be wonderful, but 5 7/8, not 5 1/8. And 2, 3, 4, 5% appreciation is great. 10, 12, 15, 20. That might be fun if you own a property, but it's not fun for the marketplace. All right. So listing prices have normalized, it kind of flattened. So you can see here that over these last few years, the median listing price has stayed pretty flat. This is a seasonal dip. I told you we're cyclical and seasonal. So you see curves like this on all multi-year trending graphs because there's always a pullback in third quarter, fourth quarter, first quarter, then it's a build back up in second quarter, drive third quarter, and then pull back in fourth quarter. Is just the way our market is. It's always seasonal and cyclical. You can set your clock by it. You can see right here that, again, it's kind of graphically displayed where back to 2017, you can see how the listing prices up, and now they've normalized. So they've flattened, and that is, again, a good thing because the years of flat listing prices slightly up are allowing the economy to catch up with the prices of homes that went up super fast during COVID. Just a few numbers local. This is Gwinnett County. And so you can see this is number of properties sold and year-to-date 2024, year-to-date 2025, down 1 point. That's flat. That's flat. And also, let me tell you, so this is year to date. So if you do the math on that, how many properties are sold in Gwinnett County every year? Let's go with 10,000. I mean, I'm not gonna make you think too hard. Cause you're like, I don't wanna do math in front of the room. I don't wanna answer that question. I might be wrong. Let's just say 10,000 to make it easy. So let's say 10,000 closings in Gwinnett County in the last, on a rolling 12 months. Is that enough opportunity for you to meet your goals? 10,000? How many sides is 10,000 closings? This is an easy one. 20,000. I don't give you trick questions, just so you know, like, I'm not here like, aha, I got you. You're wrong in front of the room. 10,000 closings, 20,000 sides. That's a lot of opportunity. Is there 20,000 sides in your backyard enough opportunity for you to meet your goals in 2025 and 2026?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, dear. So median sold price is flat, days on market is up, we need that. I'm gonna just keep going here, 4 month supply of inventory, you can see how that's creeped up. And then this is the price reduction conversation, again, you just gotta put it into context. And then we get interest rates, 11-month low, they've come down, Joy, Nikki, you were talking about the Fed funds rate, and are they gonna cut it? They're not gonna cut it. Long-term interest rate is not driven by short-term interest rates. It's just not. There's a knock-on effect. And so there is some impact, ripple effect in the economy of short-term rates, which basically impact demand in the bond market. And the bond market is what drives the 10-year treasury yield. And the 10-year treasury yield is the direct relative marker for 30-year interest rates. 10-year treasury yield is the marker for 30-year long-term interest rates. So short-term rates will have a ripple effect downline, will impact the bond market, which then will impact long-term rates. But you just have to know that there is not a direct correlation between short-term interest rates and long-term interest rates. As the real estate professional, you have to understand that part. I say this to you guys a lot. But this is hard. These are hard concepts. These are not easy concepts to grasp. And if you're going to be the mortgage or you're going to be the real estate professional, you don't get a pass at knowing these things. You just don't get a pass at it. People pay you a crap ton of money, like a lot. Your dollar per hour rate when you're in the pocket is big. And they're paying you a lot of money to help them navigate this highly complex, very high value, very infrequent, extremely challenging transaction. You just don't get a pass. You just don't get a pass. So you have to understand what those interest rates, sit down with Joy and Nikki, like take me to lunch, tell me how interest rates work. Please educate me. Look at those things so that you understand the things that impact this industry that you're living in. And so again, short-term interest rates will have a knock-on effect. It will impact the demand in the bond market, which will change the 10-year treasury yield, which will impact the long-term interest rates. The long-term interest rates changed in the last couple of weeks because of the jobs report, not because of an anticipation of rate cuts. It changed because of job reports, and the job report had an impact on the bond yield. So those things are always going, that bond, that 10-year treasury yield, that is what you're looking at to look at long-term interest rates. If you're like me, so I have, and you're not like me because I'm weird, but so, like I have the stocks that I'm tracking, and I have a little 10-year treasury right there. It's the second thing, VOO, the S&P 500 index fund is where I have primary holdings. That's where most of my money in the stock market is. And right under that, I look at this almost every day, is what's going on with the bond yield. I mean, I'm looking at it. Is it up? Is it down? Which direction is that moving? Because that's going to impact interest rates. And then there's another, there's Mortgage News Daily. This has on there also, what is the interest rate? And then down here, there's a little slide. It's like, are the things in the marketplace, are they going to be the things that are happening in the news and in the market, are they going to drive interest rates down or up? I look at that frequently.
That one's my favorite, by the way.
Yeah, Mortgage News Daily is an app. You just can install that app on your phone. And you can just look at that, and I don't think there's a widget for that. I do have a Zillow widget. So forgive me for that, but I do have a Zillow widget right there, and you can just do a little Zillow widget on your phone, and it shows you what's going on with the interest rate. So then you're just a student of what's going on. You have your finger on the pulse. You can tell things going up or down. Okay, I'm spending too much time on this, but I just want you to understand and to be the professional that you say that you are at a kitchen table or a conference room table. You tell them that you're the expert. I want you to be the expert. This is just always something pretty, I just always want you to know this. Almost 40% of homes are owned free and clear. So interest rate, not even a conversation for these people. The state of the economy is a conversation for these folks, but interest rate isn't. And so, you know, you have 50%, 28.5% have 50% of equity or more, and only 31% have less than 50% equity. So you have to understand the clients, the consumer. You have to understand who the consumer is and what their financial situation is. Okay, this is, we only have a couple of slides left with really cool charts and graphs, then we're gonna get into the important stuff of how do you turn your pipeline on. This is the number of full-time real estate agents in the marketplace. All right, it's a big one because there's something called the law of equilibrium. The law of equilibrium is when money opportunity enters our industry, agents lag after that opportunity comes in, agents then pour into the marketplace. Sister, brothers, uncle, cousin, everybody, like 75 hours and you know what, $500, $400. You can be a real estate agent, you know, poof, you're a real estate agent, 75 hours and a couple hard tests. I get it. They pour into the marketplace. Then the market shifts and hits a downturn. How long is the downturn? 3 years. How long is mostly the upturn? Like, what's a good number? 7 years. And how long are we in the downturn right now?
3 years.
3 years. What can we expect?
Recovery.
Yeah, so, okay, just was a test. So whenever the downturn happens, then agents hang on. Like, I'm gonna hang on, and then they'll flush out. The ones that aren't, they don't like it, they haven't had success in it, they're ready to do something different, and they flush out. Then whenever recovery happens and opportunity for income re-enters the marketplace, agents begin to re-enter the market. I've always wanted to be a real estate agent. I'm seeing all this news. The interest rates are great. The transactions are coming up. I'm working. What's that?
Selling Sunset.
Selling Sunset, yes. I watch HGTV. I know how this works. I show them 3 houses. They I love houses and I love people. And I telecommute 3 days a week, so I can do my pre-license while I'm at home, supposed to be working. You know, like all of this happens and agents will flood the marketplace again. But here's what I want you to see is this is leading up into the Great Recession. And then you see the number of agents that poured out of the marketplace. So up to 510,000 down to 320,000. It's a huge hit. And then during the recovery, boom, agents flowed into the marketplace again. Now you were at 540,000 and that bounced along here until, you know, the shift in the marketplace happened. And now we're seeing a flushing in the marketplace. Here's why that's important. It's opportunity. You look at it. Timmy's like, don't let the door hit you. So, but what happens here is it's available sides per agent is an equation. How many sides per agent are on the table? And then are you going and competing for those sides per agent? And the great thing is, while sides per agent has pulled back during this, when the marketplace has increased in price by 50% over a 6-year period of time, what has happened to your income per side? Just so you know, you make your income based on a percentage of sales price most of the time. And so when the sales price goes up by 50%, then your opportunity for income goes up by 50%. If the transactions go down by 15% and the price of the property goes up by 50, you win. you win. And then when there's a 30% pullback in the number of agents competing for those dollars per transaction, you can win as long as you're doing what you need to do to get in the way of those transactions. So there's tons of opportunities in this marketplace. This is going to continue even after recovery is clear. This trend is going to continue even after recovery is clear because it always lags. The law of equilibrium, it always lags. So you can see this, we started to recover. Then all of a sudden, so you're gonna have about a 2-year window generally when recovery begins, where agents are still gonna thin, and that is where you make your mark and capture market share. If market share is an interesting thing, and I gotta move on, but I'm gonna say this to you. If you have 100 transactions and you have 10% market share, how many transactions did you do? 10. If you have 10% market share, you fought for 10% market share in the downturn, and you go to 200 transactions, how many closings do you have? 20. So in the downturn, you fight for percentage of market share, mind share in the database, in the consumers in your area. You fight for that market share, and then you ride that market share up as the recovery happens. You ride it up. 10% of 100 is 10. 10% of 200 is 20. You didn't increase your market share, you held your market share, but you had to go take that market share in a downtime. And there's where your opportunity in downtime is. Go take your market share, ride it up in the recovery. This is how you build a big business. This is where, how many people, super smart financial people you hear, like, the greatest opportunities in a downturn. A lot of people put their head in the sand, put their head in a drawer. Hey, knock on the desk when it's over, and I'll come back out. You know, that's not you. All right. I have this in here. I'm not gonna talk about this because tariffs is very difficult to have this conversation without it sounding political. I've seen many people do it and fail. So I'm not gonna have the conversation. Here's the only thing I'm gonna say about tariffs. Most of the conversation people are having about the impact of tariffs is conjecture. It's not projections, it's conjecture. Like, projection is, here's the statistical data on this thing, and this is what we've seen before, and this is what we can expect to happen. That's like a projection data. Conjecture is, we haven't seen that before, so I think this is what's gonna happen. Most of the conjecture is colored by politics. It's awful. It's terrible. And so most of what people are saying are colored by politics. Don't buy into it. Here's what I want you to know about tariffs. What has the tariff done? Not what is it going to do. Know that. What's widely accepted on something that it has done is it's driven construction material costs up, and perhaps added $5,000 to $8,000 per finished new construction home because of increase in materials. A lot of that data, though, is pulled from what happened to, a lot of the materials that go into new homes are commodities. Wild volatility in commodities, okay? Like the cost of lumber one day versus the cost of lumber another day. And when there's a trade war with Canada, lumber is skyrocketing. What's lumber been doing the last month? Plummeting. So the $8,000 that's been baked into the tariff conversation for new construction may be nothing now. I don't know. Builders are always managing the volatility of commodity construction materials. They bake it into the price. They understand the volatility. They know that they're going to have seasons of pinched margins and wider margins. So you just have to, don't get caught up into this conversation. Here's your takeaways. Rates are easing. Inventory is creeping. Prices are flat. MSI is balancing. Month supply of inventory. Sellers and buyers are moving when life happens. Skill-based, speed wins. You have to be speed to lead. Okay? If you are late, if you are lazy, you are going to lose. Re-engage your entire pipeline with current rates and find their strike point. Rates are 6.25, 6.25. Do you know what your database strike point is? Is it 6? Is it 6.25? Is it 5 7/8? You have to know, what is your database strike point? When will they move? When you know that, then you know when you're getting close to it, or you know when there's a tool or product out there that will meet their strike point. Know your local new construction options and incentives. Because of the marketplace and the way it is, there are a lot of incentives in new construction right now. It's great. There are a lot of opportunities for you to win with your buyers in new construction right now. And look, new construction subdivision is a business. It's not emotional. You know, like, I raised my family in this house, my dog's buried in the back. I have a 200-year oak tree in the front yard, and I gotta make sure that whoever buys this house isn't gonna tear down my oak tree, you know, like. No, new construction is just a business decision. And when they need to put incentives, they make the business decision to put incentives. That's what they're doing right now. So you gotta know that. Own the conversation with your database, make offers. Agents are leaving in droves. Engage now and take territory. And this is cut off by 3 years, followed by 8 years, followed by 3 years, followed by 8 years. I buy into the 10-year, make it 7, make it 3, make it 10, make it 11. I don't care. Just know what's coming next. What's coming next is recovery. All right? Okay. Any questions about all that? I just went hard. Boom. Bam. Okay, so with the 15 minutes I have left, we're gonna talk about hitting your goal in 2025. We're hitting business planning season, and so you need to finish strong. And you also need to plan and put in place the activities in the fourth quarter to drive results in first quarter. Why do we do that? We do that because the activities, we are a 90 to 120 day cycle in our business. You do activities today, you get a check 120 days from now, 90 to 120 days from now. Do you agree with that? Yes. All right. So you do the right activity now, you can have a closing in 90 days. That's why we do business planning in October. You start the activities in October so that you get the results of those activities in January, because that's when the new year starts. You're planning for 2026. You want the result of those activities to start in 2026, not start in second quarter of 2026. So are you on track to hit your goals? We're always telling you, like, okay, well, if you're not on track, just do more lead generation. Just lead generate more. Lead generate more. And then, so what do? You go do what you think you should be doing in lead generating. And then some people have results with that and some people don't. Why do some people have results with that and some people don't? Well, I'm going to show you. There's this thing called a lead funnel. And this lead funnel, you so have to get this in this business. This will change your world. So you have the top of the funnel, which are long-term leads. These are long-term. It takes time for them to incubate, mature, then you convert them, and then they're going to close in 2027. Okay? Long-term. Then you have midterm, it's 3 to 6 months. Okay, well, this lead source is a midterm lead source, and then you have now ready business. Where do most agents spend their lead generation time?
But now.
Same midterm.
I have now, I have midterm, I have long, I have midterm or now. I'm going to submit to you, after many years of research and talking to a lot of agents, that a lot of agents gravitate to the top of the funnel. Top of the funnel. Why do agents gravitate to the top of the funnel? And we're gonna go through some of these lead sources. You're gonna tell me what top of the funnel looks like. But most of the time, top of the funnel is comfortable. It's less confrontational. Maybe you hear fewer no's in the top of the funnel. You don't have to face rejection. Maybe you don't have the sales chops to really live at the bottom of the funnel, which requires high level of skills, timing, and activities. This, you can just kind of play in this area and convince yourself that you're doing what you need to be doing, but you're not really getting the way of now ready business. You're kind of fooling yourself into thinking that, or not you, they are, not you. Agents that do this, they're fooling themselves into thinking that they're doing something when they're really not. The primary focus, like, here's the thing, if you are not on track to hit your goals, you have to live in the bottom of the funnel. It is comfortable, it is less comfortable. Comfortable's here, you know, I'm just getting my database together and I'm I can't tell you how many times I hear this. I need business, so I'm thinking about starting a farm. You laugh, I mean, farm is here. Farm is here. And people that need business now and they're thinking about going and starting a farm it's just a misplaced understanding of getting in the way of now ready business. And so, you know, all right, let's do an exercise. What? I want you to give me lead sources and then we're gonna decide together whether they're top, middle, or bottom of the funnel.
Open houses.
Open house. I agree with open house being bottom, yes.
Referral,
Referral, what kind of referral?
client referrals.
Client referral, so PCSOI, past client experience, so
You can also put agent to agent. referrals.
Where are they?
What's that?
where in the funnel?
That's now business.
I would say bottom and middle, depending
Bottom
on.
to middle.
What did you do to get the referral?
Follow up
Keep in
relationships.
touch with your database.
You just knew somebody.
No, the right people, right time.
You talk.
Can you do a strategy, stick with me now, 1 second. Can you do a strategy that is top of the funnel for referrals and also do a different strategy that is bottom of the funnel for referrals?
Yeah.
Let's clarify then, which is which?
What'd you say?
Which,
Which is which?
yeah, so give me a top of the funnel referral strategy.
Like long term, like keeping them in your email newsletter.
33
They hear your name.
Touch program, yes. So PCSOI referral clutch program is top of the funnel. It takes time. Like, okay, I'm broadcasting to a couple of hundred people that, you know, or a couple of thousand people, whatever. And there's a percentage of them over the next 12 months that may know someone and I have to convince them to, okay, so now what's bottom of the funnel? PCSOI referral.
Somebody's ready to buy now, so.
Someone is ready to buy now is the person you're looking for. What is the strategy to go find that person that is the referral? So I'm looking for a lead gen activity that I can do right now to go get a referral right now for now ready business.
Call your database.
Want to help you meet your goal. You're looking for people to talk to.
Okay, so now, how many agents are doing the put them on a touch program? And how many agents are actually doing the calling and saying, Dara, I'm in this class right now. I got this contest. I'm looking for referrals. I want to win. I want you to help me win. Do you have anybody that I can call? Do you have anybody moving into the area? Do you know someone who's blah, 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 blah? Okay? Whatever your script is. That one may be dumb. I don't know. But this is action and you are calling and asking directly for that. This is passive and you're doing marketing to a group of people wanting to get in the way of it whenever it happens to somebody in that group of people. So I buy both. Okay, what's the next lead source?
Events.
Events. So like a client event, a community event, what kind of
It's
event?
a community.
Community event. So you do a fall festival. And you have a booth at the fall festival. You know? Top, bottom, middle, top of the funnel. Okay, what else?
Expired FISBO.
Expired FISBO.
Bottom.
Bottom. Now ready business. They have their house on the market, don't have an agent. They had an agent. They said yes to an agent. They had a listing and they did not sell it. Okay, what else?
Circle prospecting.
Where is it?
I feel like if you talk to the right person, it could be bottom.
Yeah, it's
situation.
If you're calling around a list, I mean, it's
Okay, let me clarify something.
all the above.
All of these strategies, might you run into someone right away that needs to do a deal?
Absolutely.
Yes, so let's just all agree, if you go do if you go do a farm and you start a farm, might you like give a packet of, you know, seeds to somebody that is like, oh, I'm so glad you stopped by today, we were just about to list our house? Yes. Does that make it about, just because you ran into a bottom funnel lead, does it make it a bottom of the funnel lead source?
No.
No, it does not. So circle prospecting is top, in my opinion. Because if you have circle prospected, then you know what you're looking for is hard nurtures. When you are circle prospecting, you are looking for a hard nurture primarily to build a pipeline of people that might need to transact over the next 24 months. You will, if you do that enough, run into a bottom of the funnel deal, but it's not a bottom of the funnel lead source. What else?
What about broker to broker referral?
That was here.
Oh.
Yeah,
sorry.
so referral for call, that they said that along with that. So we're gonna, two strategies exist. What else? Door knocking would I would put that in circle prospecting. What else?
Or media.
Social media.
First time homebuyer seminar?
So somebody just had a, I don't know about the being in the shop. So how do you make that bottom? How do you make social media bottom? Mover. Yes, if you are doing a direct campaign that has a mofer, make offer for immediate response. If you're not familiar with the term, then that could be a bottom of the funnel. Like if you are making a mofer for now ready business and you're hammering that strategy, I would agree that you could drag that down. By and large, with social media, you're looking to present that you're looking for the zero moment of truth. You're looking to present yourself as a professional, own mind share as it relates to real estate, and it's generally top of the funnel. What else you got?
Buying leads from a third party.
Buying leads, so that would depend on the source you buy, whether they're bottom or top of the funnel. You see all kinds, but I would give you that, too much to go into right now, but yeah. All right, what else?
Follow-up program.
So 33 touch, is that, you're talking about follow up to your database, follow up with,
Yeah, ECSY follow-ups. That might go into 33 touch.
okay, so I'm gonna run off a few of these. So this is top, geographic farming, personal brand moves, you know, community neighborhood videos, spotlight, hosting events, SEO focused, like, you know, getting yourself on top of Google for certain things, YouTube videos, weekly newsletters, pop by gifts for branding, podcasting, guest experiences, Chamber of Commerce, B&I meetings, lifestyle content, drip emails, sponsor local events, Facebook community groups, long form educational webinars, all of those things are top of the funnel. We will gravitate to those things just like that because they're comfortable, non-confrontational, don't require like strong sales skills. And we can just like, we convince ourselves that we're doing this stuff. Midterm, sitting personal, marketing, updates to a prospect that is tight, hosting an open house, aggressive follow-up, I think that's mid or bottom. Circle dialing, they put it in middle, offering CMA to a neighborhood that you're looking for, the now ready person is looking for what their house is worth. And then now tactics. And we've gone through a lot of these, but scrubbing your CRM for high activity buyers. If you've got a CRM that shows who's on and how frequently they're on and how many properties they're looking at and how many they're saving, you can really dial down your lead gen activities. The leads sources that are bottom of the funnel lead sources, Google local services, Realtor.com, Zillow, Ramsey, endorsed local provider, I think they call that something different now. But those are all buying, texting hot leads with urgency, door knocking, FSBOs and door knocking FSBOs and expireds. I love this one. This is a really good one. Calling people whose lease is going to expire in 60 days. Is that a good strategy?
Yeah.
What might someone do if their lease is gonna expire 60 days from now?
Wow.
How do you know who those people are?
Don't know until you call.
How do you know who they are? Like if you were gonna put a strategy together where you were gonna focus on and specifically call people that have the highest likelihood of lease expiring in the next 60 days, how would you find them?
They're leasing homes, you can look at it on the listing services.
Make partnerships with leasing agents.
Partnerships with leasing agent, yes, they might get in trouble with their apartment complex, but yes. And not to say that they don't do that, but Bob, to that, you can go into FMLS, Georgia MLS, you can search closed leases for a lease date and what are most lease terms?
1 year.
12 months. So if you go back and look at things that got leased in July of 2024, then you can find those phone numbers and contact information of those people, and then you can call them and see if they're about to. So then absentee owners, the lease expired, very targeted pay-per-click. And then you talked about all the other ones. But, so here's what I want you to see, is that most is top of the funnel. I want you to make your whole list of your lead generation, your lead levers. So I want you to make a list of your lead levers. These are all the things that I've done in the last 12 months, and here's where they land in the funnel. I would submit to you that it's very likely that you're hanging out here with a couple down here. And as you put your plan together for 2026, and as you finish 2025, if you're behind, where do you need to live? Bottom of the funnel. At the same time, you need to implement some top of the funnel strategies that will build your pipeline for 6 months to a year from now. But if you are behind and you have an empty pipeline, you have to go directly to the bottom of the funnel. Implement those strategies. Do not peel off of that bottom of the funnel until your pipeline is where it needs to be. And then you take a step back and you backfill. Okay? There are strategies where people are like, I would never knock on a door because if I knocked on a door, I would puke on their front porch and I would not be able to say anything when they opened the door. That's not your strategy. Not everybody has to knock doors. That's okay. You find strategies that you can do consistently over a long period of time. You're looking for 4 to 5 lead gen strategies, a couple of them bottom of the funnel for sure, but strategies that you will do consistently over a long period of time. It does not mean it has to be your favorite thing. It just means you can do it. Because there's another truth about this business is you have to do that lead source until you don't have to do it anymore. So you may say, I can do expired FSBOs, I can door knock. I don't love it. It's not what I want to build my long-term business on. I want to build my long-term business on PCSOI, on a 33 touch, on referral of other agents, and on a social media campaign with one farm. Those are my core things. Every one of those core things are long-term lead sources. And I'm going to have this one lead lever that anytime, boom, I can turn it on, I can turn it off. I'm going to do FSBO expired, I'm going to door knock, I'm going to do 3 open houses per weekend whenever I need to turn it on. And you're like, well, I don't love doing that. Well, I didn't love doing it either. But you do it until you don't have to do it anymore. And you backfill it with long-term strategies. When the long-term strategies fill your pipeline, you pull back on the lead lever that you don't love doing. And then you get to love your lead lever until something happens and you're behind. And then you know, I'm right back into the bottom of the funnel on this lead source I can do consistently over a long period of time. So that's the deal. I want you guys to know what's going on in the market. I want you to know how to turn your funnel on and off, how to fill your pipeline. I want you to audit your lead sources, figure out bottom of the funnel, top of the funnel. Don't confuse activity with productivity. I mean, we get so busy, we have this busyness thing all the time. And I don't know about you. If you've ever like gone to work in real estate and you're just like worn out at the end of the day, but then you go home, you're like, I have no idea what I did today. I know that I'm totally worn out. No idea. So this business planning season that you're going into is designed to create the plan, you to create the plan for what you need to do every day. You're an independent contractor. We're all here having a great time. I know we're late. I'm gonna be finished in 60 seconds. We're here, all having our kumbaya moment right now. It's awesome. It's the great culture in this place. Dara, the leadership team, have created amazing culture in this place. You can come and get your batteries recharged anytime in this market center. But 90% of what you do in this business, you're isolated. And so you have to determine what you're supposed to do every day, put a plan together, have a conversation with someone so that someone is looking at that plan and agrees with you that that actually will get you where you want to go. And then do that plan every day and have some accountability in your life to make sure that you're doing what you intended to do. And you've got to understand this lead funnel when you put this plan together, because it's easy for you to come in, smile, how you doing? I'm great. It's amazing. I could not be better. I'm fantastic and wonderful, you know, and then you go and you're depressed and you're sad because your pipeline is empty. You have no idea how to fill it. You're behind. You hear all the success stories in team meeting. Why is that not me? It can be you. You have to understand this concept, put this plan together, make sure that you know what you're supposed to do every day when you get up and go to work, and have some accountability in your life to where if you don't do it, somebody's checking in on you. Human mind left unchecked can rationalize anything. And we can say we're busy all day long, but not be productive in this business. And I don't want you to end up like a statistic, like so many agents do, and be part of the ones that lead this industry in a downturn. I want you to be the ones that stay, take market share, and then ride up in the recovery, because what's coming